Sheriff's Office.
Jim Duncan, please.
Hello.
Mr. Duncan?
Yes.
I was just checking in to see what was going on with my case.
Well, I talked to the DA, and he looked at those tapes.
Uh-huh.
He's not too impressed with being able to figure out who it is. I don't think he don't think that they were trying to break it. They was just looking in. He don't see any evidence himself that's trying to break into anything.
How about all the vandalism and everything?
What vandalism?
All the cameras, the water well.
That's the first I've heard about a water well. What happened to the water well?
You remember we had a conversation a week ago? They broke into the fuse box, turned it on, froze all the pipes, shot down the main power line, cut it, put it on the ground.
Well, you're accusing those people, your neighbors, of doing that. We have no proof that they done that. You had nobody that's seen them do it.
Well, I mean, the guy's Facebook account puts them at the scene of the crime 25 yards away when it happened.
Well, that don't prove that he done it. I talked to the DA. The DA is, and the deputy has showed the DA all the stuff, and I don't think he sees enough to file anything. You can come talk to him if you want to.
Okay, and that'd be Mark Matloff?
No, well, that's the main DA. He's at Idabel.
Uh-huh.
The assistant's the one that I talked to down here.
Matthew Sheet?
Yes.
All right, let me give him a call.
All right.
This is Assistant District Attorney Matt Sheets. How can I help you?
I was calling about the case of the break-in and vandalism to our place. The sheriff says there's not enough evidence to do anything.
If that's what the sheriff says, then there's nothing I can really do.
Well, he said you're the one that said that you saw the videotape.
I have not seen a videotape. If I'm not mistaken, the videotape they say shows them just trying to the door and not actually breaking in. I have not seen a videotape. I haven't seen a report. But based on what they've told me, I told them there probably wasn't enough and we'd need more.
Well, gee, in the videotape, you see that they're trying to get in there, and then one of them with a rifle sees there being videotapes, and then they take off and wipe all the fingerprints off the door and head back to their camp, which was next to my barn.
Yes, but it doesn't sound like they've gotten enough into the attempt to really get them on any kind of criminal charge.
What about all the vandalism and everything?
Like I said, I haven't seen the tape. I don't know what they're accused of. Just based on that, I didn't think there was enough evidence. So if there's more going on, I can look at that, but that was all I was informed of.
Well, what the deal is first off, like 13 people saw them park a camper right next to my barn, and saw all these different people there at the time that this crime happened. One of them posted on his Facebook that him and his wife were there, dated the same time that all this happened. Then there's a picture on his Facebook with him and his cousin, which looked like the people in the video, two of the people in the video, with a hog they just killed, with my cabin that was attempted broke into in the background.
But that doesn't mean that that doesn't prove that they were the ones that committed the vandalism. It just proves they were there.
You don't think that seems real suspicious?
It's suspicious, but I'm held to the standard of beyond a reasonable doubt, and they could say someone else was there. We were there too, though. That's my problem.
You don't think that's enough to even at least question the neighbors and those people?
The sheriffs are the ones that do all the investigation and the questioning. I really don't have any part of that. All I do is at the end decide whether or not there's enough to convict on them.
Right. I just find it odd that you've not even seen the video, though, when he's saying you have seen the video. And I mean, I don't know if you know any background on this case, but this stuff's been going on for a while, and it's getting way out of control.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, the police department are friends with these people and don't do anything about it. Meanwhile, we're being robbed and terrorized, and they're basically telling me that short of me catching one, handcuffing him, holding him there, videotaping, audio taping him, and having 5 witnesses stand there waiting for the police to arrive, there's nothing I can do. I mean, I'm sorry, but I find this ridiculous.
And I understand that. I'm certainly sympathetic to your position, but unfortunately, this time, I don't think that there's enough proof that they'd gone far enough and far is trying to steal from you to be convicted of anything.
I mean,
based on what I know.
Within a span of 2 weeks, I've had my dog poisoned, my power line cut, my property vandalized, my well vandalized, and a video of these people leaving this camp next to my cabin and trying to break into my place while armed with weapons and then running back to this camp. And I'm being told this ain't enough evidence to even question anybody?
Well, there's certainly enough evidence to investigate them, but beyond investigation, I don't know if there's enough proof that they did anything as far as arresting them and charging them with crimes. And that's my position.
So what do you recommend I do?
I can't give you any kind of legal advice as far as proving them guilty of anything, but if you've got more information that you can share with the officers, please do that, and then maybe we'll get the case in a position where it's more comfortable to be filed on something.
Well, frankly, the problem is I give the evidence to the officers, and then they don't give it to you based on you saying you haven't even seen the video. So it sounds like I could get all the evidence in the world, and it doesn't matter because they refuse to give it to you to make sure that nothing ever happened with it.
Like I said, we've discussed the case. I just didn't watch the video. And if I'm assuming what they've told me is exactly what happened in the file, because we had a pretty frank discussion about the video, and there was just... Sorry about that. I just didn't think there was enough that, if that's what all the video showed, that we'd be able to do anything about it.
I mean, what's going to happen when it escalates to the point where someone's shot and killed up there? Are they going to do something then?
Yes. You can certainly file a formal complaint with the sheriff if you don't feel like your case is being handled properly. I don't know what that process is.
I mean, when it gets to the point where they're shooting main power lines down, and I mean, the power people even said, hey, this thing's been shot.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
And nothing's ever done about it.
Yeah. Unless you have video of the shooting incident or whatever, they can always say someone else was out there, someone else did it, and there's nothing I can do to say, no, you're lying, because I don't have any proof that they are lying.
Right, but they won't even ask them to find out if they would admit to it or not.
Yeah.
I mean, they won't even go to the trouble of asking or talking to the neighbors who saw all this happen, or ask the people who had the people camping there, or the people in the pictures on the Facebook account admitting they were there at the time of the crime, with a picture of the crime scene in the background with them standing there dated at the date that it happened. I mean, it seems to me that's worth at least talking to somebody.
Yeah.
I mean, this is crazy. I've got friends that are, one's an officer and one's a detective, and they tell me this is the craziest damn thing they've ever seen.
Yeah. Like I said, I certainly understand your frustration. There's just nothing that I can do personally to help you out.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Hello?
Deputy Culver?
Yes. Yes, sir.
I was checking to see what was going on with my case.
Everything was sent to the DAs, so it's up to them.
Okay, did they ever go question any of the witnesses?
I sent what I had to the DA.
But nobody went and talked to the witnesses?
I have not known, because while I was trying to investigate everything, I guess you called the DA and he wanted everything then, so I gave him everything then.
Okay. Mr. Duncan had told me they were going to send somebody back out to talk to everybody.
Well, I've been off work, so I don't know what to tell you other than it's been turned into the DA's office.
I don't understand why they wouldn't go questioning the people that saw this before they turned it into the DA. I mean, is that the way it normally works?
I mean, I was in the process of investigating when you called and caused all the chaos with everything, and the DA wanted what I had right then.
Well, I called because I talked to the sheriff, and the sheriff says there wasn't nothing there and they weren't going to do anything, and if I didn't like it, to call the DA, which I did.
And then I turned everything over to the DA, so it is now up to him.